Here. We're going to swap to the blue side for the final game. HYG going to hang out over on the red, and Rise Gangplank going to continue to get banned the whole series.
And of course, Rise banned by OMG every single time as well so far. They really do not want to see that on the HYG lineup. Gangplank, the response. We've seen him played once so far in the LPL. Every other time has been a ban, and that one time they lost.
They did. Sad news for
Believe it or not.
But Lissandra is going to be the van. This is actually, I think, an excellent adaptation in the series. We've seen it do work. Didn't win the last game, but S17 has been working very hard on that champion. So get it out of here, and let's get Misfortune while we're at it as well. That champion's real good on this patch. And of course, Lulu going to get taken out as OMG's final ban.
It would make a lot of sense to ban the Lissandra and look towards first picking the Tom Kench or the Trundle, trying to get that flex pick champion in there yourself, because you've already banned all of the champions that they have banned have been flex pick champions. So if they can lock one down themselves, they're in a very good position moving forward.
And that's Poppy, actually, the final ban there. Again, dropped through the picks and bans in game number 1. That's Rek'Sai already locked in.
Yep, no hesitation. They just want the Rek'Sai.
Never mind the flex picks. I mean, it was banned, I think. Yeah, it was banned away from Fishbowl in game number 2. But his Lee Sins looked on point, so I'm a little surprised to see him go straight for Rek'Sai. But hey, it's going to be the first time we'll play it in the series. We'll see how he does. HYG, considering their picks, I would be shocked not to see Alistar at this point. Well, and March had a fine game on Graves too.
To be fair, it was also picked away from them realistically in HYG's first game as well. In their first rotation, they went for Lissandra Rek'Sai, denying it from Fishbowl. So very evidently a Lee Sin and Rek'Sai player.
Yeah, should have played last season.
Yeah, probably.
I haven't played on the V team, obviously.
It's still good, alright.
He was around as HYG, considering these next few picks. They've having a look at the Mundo. I don't know if they want to go straight for the Doctor himself, but again, I think Alistar makes perfect sense, given what we've seen out of Alistar pretty much all week long, really, in the LPL. But are they going to do it? Are they going to go for the super tank? They are. Dr. Mundo going to enter this final game.
Very, very interesting decision. A lot of the Mundos that you see are later in the rotation, solely because there are champions like Trundle not being banned. Just very, very good at taking down tanks.
And there's Trundle already actually locked in by Call. I doubt he's going to play it, but they know exactly what they want to be doing with it. And there's Kalista again. That's a nice denial pick out from XQ. He's going to have to change up his jungle picks, his AD carry pick, sorry.
Yeah, it's also very good taking it away, not only from XQ, but just picking it because Trundle is also quite good against the, or not against the Kalista, but Kalista's picked into the Trundle for the most part because the pillar's not that big of a deal. Whereas a Lucian, as an example, have to use your dash through the pillar. There's a chance it gets blocked and you are dead.
Yeah, which is a bad time as an AD carry. As we do have Ezreal Graves, actually. So March likely going back to that Graves. But that Ezreal is a flex as well. We saw Gosu play it to great effect in game 1, but it could, of course, be XQ's champion as well as OMG going to look to round out their draft with their 4th and 5th picks.
Deep down, I would like to believe that it's a Graves top because it's still good.
Yeah.
And I still think that Graves is considered a flex between top and jungle, and as is Mundo. So worth considering. Don't really consider it until it's actually done, though.
Yep, don't quote him on it, but we'll have to see. Again, HYG sticking very creative with their drafts and making sure they keep things pretty ambiguous as they move down. SMLZ going to flash the crowd of Heimerdinger, but I can't imagine that's where Cool goes, reaching right into the back pocket. I know he wants to play a comfort pick. You need to calm down, Cool. Hey, SMLZ is trolling us now. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, it's not even a back pocket. That's
like Garen mid. Wonderful. Well, 5 seconds left.
Should be TF.
I mean, that's, if we want to talk about old school champions for Cool, there it is. Twisted Fate is going to get locked in. Played Ari in game 2. He's going arguably further back now in his repertoire. He's going to play Twisted Fate for this final game. And Thresh once again for 5. That seems like a logical pick for me.
Definitely does. 5 is a ridiculously good Thresh. And the Twisted Fate being locked in, interesting decision. I mean, it has a bit of wave clear as well, which is what OMG, once again, are lacking besides in their middle laner. Twisted Fate's also very good at roaming around the map and matching that of this side of HYG, if not bettering it in this particular instance.
I feel like Cool has almost gone OTT on the wave clear in most of the games.
Well, he's the only one that really has it, though, to be fair.
Which makes sense. I mean, we saw Gosu, played the Ezreal. They're hovering Lux once again. Could see him go back to it, but maybe Gosu has other plans in mind. They do, of course, have flexibility. Again, team's going to be talking to their coaches. Make sure they lock these final picks in. Gosu's skill shots were definitely on point with the Ezreal. I felt like he was a little less reliable on Lux, but he definitely knew what he wanted to do on the champion, and he's actually going to play it again.
Yeah, he's gone for Lux, and he's also gone for Cleanse on that Lux, which is a good decision into the Twisted Fate, because you can very easily get away from those ganks now from Fishbowl on Rek'Sai. I mean, Lux, it's going to feel the same purpose as the last round that we've seen. The Thresh Denial is a very big deal, though, because their pick comp becomes a lot less, or it's a one-pick army, essentially.
Yep.
They've got a lot more hard engage and tankiness, though, for a frontline here, HYG.
Yeah, and then Gosu can support all that quite nicely here. And they've got enough threats from the jungle and AD carry spots. So I like the drafts from both teams. Got some pretty cool stuff going on. Let's run through the lineups nice and quickly. OMG on the blue side. Trundle, Rek'Sai, Twisted Fate there for cool. Kalista and Thresh. And then Dr. Mundo, Graves, Lux, Ezreal, and Alistar for HYG as we get in towards our final game here.
So there's a very unique utility that can come out of this OMG side right now. Rek'Sai and Twisted Fate are very good at split pushing. They can actually run a 1-3-1 if need be. Once the Kalista has some control, Trundle can deny pushing quite nicely with his pillar. They can actually control the map decently as a team.
Well, seen a lot of map control, honestly, from the other side there for HYG. I wonder how OMG are going to go. Twisted Fate, again, very team-oriented champion. OMG are a fresh team for all intents and purposes. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes, but it's a cover pick once again for cool. OMG pulled it out of the bag in last game. Looks like in 40 here. Let's get into game number 3. And we are out onto the roof for our final game, our second best of 3 of the evening. One more to go after this. We're still to decide who is going to take the point here between OMG and HYG. It's been all HYG, honestly, up until the very final moments of game number 2. So we've reset here, effectively a best of 1. Let's see if OMG can bring it all the way back from 0-1 down and take the series in their first win in the 2016 LPL.
Very promising starts here from HYG and some glimpses of inexperience, which is definitely to be expected. And I mean, that's where OMG should be taking control in this best of 3 series. So coming into it, oh, the Ghost has been used.
He's popped it. That's actually going to get a flash. Nice trade there from Cool. They're going to get this vision down. Once again, grouping up early as 4 or 5. And managing to get a summon spell and some deep vision down this time.
It's definitely beneficial to get as well. The Ghost, when he still has a mobility spell and the flash available, is worth getting a flash out. If you trade, 100% of the time you're doing well.
Yeah, Cool, of course. Not too afraid of Lux's summoner. It's probably going to be defensive. It is Cleanse in this case, which, like you mentioned, Ross, is a smart choice. Oh, Ghost with some nice poke. Actually misses the auto, so he's going to get some extra damage.
That was a misplay from him. He should have waited till he got the auto attack before blowing up the E. But it's a bit of damage nonetheless. Minions are coming to the lane, so a little bit of poke for no reason.
Yeah, we'll see exactly how the lane goes out. It's been pretty passive in the mid lane, with lots of farming and a wave clear. Can't imagine it's going to be too different this time around. But 17, changing the champions up. And the Rek'Sai going over to Fishbowl, who seems very intent on playing this one, given the priority they gave it in the draft. But we have had a lane swap. But this time, though, they'll end up in different lanes.
Absolutely right. Of course, Kalista are actually completely alone at the moment, as standard supports do when you get the successful lane swap is invade, place vision around the red buff, see if people are there. Be annoying if you find them there. Otherwise, just do your thing. Let the Kalista get some free experience and then crash down on the turret as a big group when your jungle and top laner arrive.
Well, they will arrive eventually. In fact, you can see that both duos, top lane and jungle, that are jungling together are heading towards the respective open lanes. So pretty reminiscent of, I guess, the common world's lane swap meta. Well, right now the AD carries is leaving this pretty far frozen. Want to make sure they build up a nice big wave to push into that turret and try and take it down.
Yeah, you're aiming for the wave that spawns at 2 minutes and 30 seconds is going to be the cannon wave, generally, that hits. And that is when you actually are able to take the turret as a team. And you're generally also waiting for your jungler and top laner, if they do it fast enough, to get there and help you push. So,
yep. You can see starting to push those waves a bit more now. Really building them up, actually, so the wave all arrives together. But looks like the duos will be arriving out of the jungle into the lanes. In fact, Rek'Sai taking the Scuttle Crab first, but Trundle is on the way up, and S17 going to join in down as well. Graves is late, but 3v0 Shouldn't be too much problem here for this bottom outer turret, and there's 3v0 in top lane. Make it full.
So both doing the scuttle crabs respectively. The biggest difference here is March is going middle lane, and this is the Graves cheese that we've seen time and again now.
This is a great adaptation, actually.
Cool can run.
He has to be careful. Yeah, he does have his flash. I think he knows what's up now. The binding isn't quite going to hit. It's probably too far away from March anyway, so nice dodge this time. Cool does not fall for the gank and die.
And that all came down to control of the minion wave as well. They'll be able to get the turrets at reasonably even times. In fact, they're going to give the solo gold here to 17. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Cool, you get out.
He just knows.
Cool, get out.
He's staying on the side he knows he has to stay on.
I mean, again, he's got complete control of the lane. He's got a minion stack pushing the Lux in. There's no way.
And this might actually be the problem here. OMG have stayed because March got so greedy to try and gank that mid lane. They went back a little late. Cool even gets some damage down in the mid lane there. He's going to trade back with Cool. Thunderlord's proc on either side. But that top turret's looking to die. It's going to get awfully close. Oh, good hook there as well. March going to take some damage, but tower does live. It's only barely, though.
Yeah, very thankfully the tower does live. It will regenerate unless OMG commit to that one more time in the next couple of minutes to secure it. And that should still be a net even distribution here of gold. I think a little bit more favors HYG on the assumption the turret isn't taken. But this is some serious cheese right now from OMG.
Yep, they're going to go all the way around looking for somebody.
Graves is recalling. What are you guys doing?
Oh, we're trying for a pick.
Oh, God.
Ooh, they're not spotted just yet. Now they are.
What are you going to do?
Oh, Duelent in the top lane all alone. Teleport is a nice response here from S17, but it's 4v3 still. S17 is not that tanky. Doesn't have his ulti.
Good knockout.
Shu going to go in there for the R-Star with that pulverize. Young level 2 doing what he can. He's so low. He flashes out towards Fishball, but the first spot is going to go to Ezreal. Hook lands as well. That's a very low rec size. Cool's also made his way up, but he doesn't quite land the stun. Only with the red card and OMG. And everything just falls apart.
What are you doing? They're behind in levels first. It's a level 2 Xiang against a level 4 17 who has been farming in the bottom lane and is so far ahead. They commit to invading in the jungle and the teleport should have been assigned to peace out. They actually do their job here. You know, they try and get the engage onto God. Of all people, it shouldn't have been him. Great headbutt pulverize combo. Actually headbutts SMLZ into the wall as it pulverizes the rest. And Ezreal is so mobile that he just sits there and deals damage constantly. Even Cool rotating, it achieves nothing.
Yeah, blue card Cool did not work out there either. And it's all gone wrong in the first few minutes. OMG looked like they knew what they were doing in that top side of the map, but a lot of hard work undone now. 1,500 gold deficit built up already. And the experience deficit's going to be even worse for a lot of these different lanes.
It was just super cheese. They hadn't recalled yet. They had no right being there. And they really wanted to make it work. For the most part, they were looking to actually catch March out of position. They realized, we're not going to catch March. He's obviously recalled. Let's just try and kill someone. And HYG have taken complete control.
And it's actually Shu that gets the Rift Tower buff there. So you're going to, I guess, pair up with his AD carry. Start pushing down these towers. That'll start equaling out the tower damage that happened to the tier 2 in the top lane. And HYG, again, they just make such good decisions.
They definitely do. This Rift Herald is actually a great move right now. Doesn't make the minions tankier at all, but if you get them to the turret, they do a lot of damage. And it also opens up by giving it to Shu that he can go to the middle lane, maybe help out Lux a bit. Anywhere that he goes, he can impact.
Yep, and he's got the buff for a little while, so see what he can get done with it, but good to take it anyway. Fishball covering this mid lane here for Cool is on the way back with their cooldown boots and the Codex already done, so plenty of early CDR here for Twisted Fate. If there was one mid laner that really likes the crazy Frost Queen's claim meta, Twisted Fate's definitely up there. He used to build the old Twin Shadows, and now everyone's building Frost Queens.
Yeah, it definitely favors Twisted Fate a lot. I would be surprised if he goes for the Morellos. It is a bit of extra cooldown reduction, though, going for the Morellos. Makes it the one-item wonder, so to speak. You get your Lucidity Morellos, and then you can work on damage. But there is so much utility just behind having the Frost Queens, and it's cool. He's probably going to go for it.
Well, we'll see now, as we do have XQ building in towards those blue Ezreal items. He's got the Tear in the Sheen, so pretty standard stuff to kick it off. Gosu as well, building in towards probably the same item here as Cool. Once again, that Frost Queens. And just checking in with the junglers. No chance just yet. Have to think it'll be Cinderhawk versus Warrior for Rek'Sai and Graves respectively. And once again, after OMG's failed attempt at trying to get some pretty cheeky stuff done in the top lane, we'll reset now for a lot of wave clearing, a bit of a lull in this game. We saw this in game 1, probably give it at least 5 minutes of farming or so.
Yeah, the kind of champions, again, that are just looking to scale a little bit further. One thing to note, and it's a big oversight by HYG, is the teleport that was forced on 17 into the top lane has actually given Trundle a freeze in the bottom lane. And now he was really behind. He was 2 levels behind. He's now also more than double the farm of this Mundo.
Yeah, 43 to 17 right now, which is a big hole for S17 to be in, especially since he's been the one to really bully both Duck and Xiang in games as Lysandra and get those big CS leads. Dragon does go to HYG as well. They're sort of just taking whatever makes sense on the map. So, you know, people up top lane, makes sense to take the Dragon away.
But the freeze is still going to be there. There's no reason that Xiang cannot hold this freeze. Trundle just gets so much health back organically through his passive.
Yep, and just chomping away at minions as well, holding it nice down towards the turret. And S17, honestly, might have to just start getting in a lane or jungling because he's completely starved out at this point. And like you mentioned, Rusty, that is not ending anytime soon. And we've seen what happens when top lane Trundle gets into that late game. It's absolutely ridiculous.
When they start getting the Tiamat or anything to the likes, get some wave clear, they actually just disregard their lane opponent and take down turrets. So, very dangerous position to consider if you are HYG, is leaving Xiang unattended.
These games have gone pretty late as well. So, Xiang probably confident that he can get to the later stages of this game, but the aggression that we did see in the first 2 games is a bit tempered here. Again, OMG did get aggressive early, tried to get the tier 2, look for a play in top side. We've sort of equalized the gold back. HYG do still have some semblance of a gold lead here, but it's under 1,000 at this point. SMLZ is even maybe looking to freeze this wave out a bit, and it's just Farm City right now for OMG.
60 CS to 19. Like, it's just gross. That doesn't even count. Why did he get a CS? It's a ward. 10 gold. You calm down. It's so bad. And this is horrible, because Xiang's going to recall after this push.
And have so much money.
The thing here is Mundo can try and freeze himself. The problem with that is he's gone for Barmy Cinder, so he literally can't.
Yep, auto-pushing the wave. That's out of combat, which is probably not happening. So it could be problems here as March has found Fishbowl. Going to collapse his floaty? No, not this time. Actually looks for a 3v2. Shu made his way down there. S17 finally gets gifted some CS, but Xiang's going to get this recall in. This is going to be a big shop here for the Trundle. He's got the Ruby Crystal done already. He's baiting me.
Oh, come on.
Come on, buddy.
He takes a very long time to buy items.
And there's Tiamat.
There you go. At least 1,250 gold was established for this Trundle from that bottom lane freeze alone, which is obnoxious.
He can still freeze as well, actually, with the Tiamat. With the new Tiamat. Can't do it with Hydra.
No, exactly
Can
right.
do it with Tiamat, which is a bit weird. Oop, goodbye. SMLZ takes the Lantern out to safety. He didn't want to get initiated.
That turret has no health remaining.
He has a single-digit number, I believe, is the health remaining on that turret. As Cool is looking around. Actually, good time to look for an ulti as well. This is the other nice thing about the map being so open. Cool can be anywhere, really, at once. So HYG do have to plan these ganks and skirmishes very, very carefully.
Absolutely. It's something that you need to consider when you're playing against Twisted Fates, is they're always going to lane swap in competitive because it opens the map for them to gank a lot easier. They're also going to be gifted 1v1 lanes if you lane swap because the junglers put attention elsewhere. March tried to, whereas Twisted Fate doesn't really care.
Well, see how few cares he gives, how many windows Cool gives this game, as we are going to have an ulti. Actually, oh, blinding is flashed. Pops the Ghost as well, actually, just to be safe. But we are back into game as HYG. Look for the collapse, but here comes Tia back in there. Hook lands onto March there, actually, as 5 just goes straight in. SMLZ looking aggressive as well as the ports are going to come in. Gosu kites them back, and SMLZ's in trouble. He gets chopped down by S17, and OMG went way too hard on that play.
You don't fight in a choke point like that. I'll say that much against the Graves. You are asking to get killed. Gosu managing to pick one up for himself, and this Mundo is starting to actually keep up with Trundle just through kills.
I have to say, 2 teleports now from S17 in this game. 2 really good-looking teleports in this game from S17. On point with a lot of those utility top lane things here is Cool. Continuing to push into this mid lane. A little, actually barely a CS lead, but still watch this again.
And of course, the Twisted Fate comes in. Shu stops him from doing anything, and a cleanse for Gosu sympathetically of March being the one that gets hooked. But fighting in a choke point that thin against the Graves and Lux, you're asking to die.
Xiang looking for XQ now. March is here. Xiang just cuts him down with his baton.
That's not, oh my god. Trundle's online, team.
Slapped to death.
I hope you're all ready.
Swiftness, Boots, and Tiamat. Trundle is ready. As Fishfall looking to gank S17 down to the bottom lane. Ulti already popped. Good flash. Gets himself out from under the Rek'Sai. Does not get himself knocked up. But OMG, again, starting to put pressure down now. 13 minutes into this game. We're starting to step things up. Solo kills, aggressive rotations. This is the OMG we know and love.
Definitely is, and of course, executed well by 17, to be fair. Did have to blow the flash, but using the cleaver, ensuring it connects before using the flash, changes the angle of attack that the Rek'Sai was going to otherwise have. There was a chance that if he got directly behind, there was no opportunity to flash, so gets out with his life, but OMG, as you mentioned, rotating very smartly and aggressively, constantly now, applying pressure.
And that's exactly where Twisted Fate wants to be. Cool actually has a Sheen as his next item, so it could be Lichbane for the super aggressive Twisted Fate build. Chu may be caught out here, is going to eat the card, does have his ulti, does not pop it. Hook goes wide, Barrage goes wide, everyone throwing skills into the mixes. These two teams are just constantly clashing.
They definitely are, and you have to say the chaos you would think favors HYG because they're a younger side that understand what it means to be in chaos that is generally solo queue where they all start with. OMG, though, are the ones putting it into place.
Oh my
and hello.
god, Cool going top lane now. S17's in so much trouble. Goodbye, Xiang. Gets himself another kill. And Trundle's, like you mentioned, has already taken over.
Yep, that's not going to stop anytime soon. Trundle sitting top lane at the moment, doesn't have his teleport. They don't really care.
Chomp the turret. Xiang and Cool going to slap this down. Cool has a Sheena here as well. So this turret, it's actually dead. OMG, so aggressive in this game. And Gosu can barely do anything but watch the turret fall and not eat a gold card. 3 turrets to 1 now. 3 of those turrets, in fact all of them, are in the top lane.
It's about to be 4. So OMG have complete control of this map at the moment, and there is no answer from HYG. A million times over, Trundle is just so good if he gets going.
Well, these backs are going to get ridiculous here. Xiang going to slap down a ward and go home. Cool's actually going back now as well. Needlessly large rod in the inventory now for Cool. And how close is Xiang to that Hydra? Not quite there yet.
He's going for the Hydra. He might leave it at Tiamat.
I think he might. Ooh, Gosu does get hooked. Very nice there from 5. Now Xiang going to come in. Gosu does not have a flash, but he will cleanse. Chomp down there as well. Ghost actually popped, I think, but that's defensively there from Gosu. Binding does land it at 2. Ulti's good. Great Fate's call, though, from SMLZ. OMG will not get a kill, but they won't lose one either.
The laser was there, but Gosu cannot get what he was looking for. Cool comes back to lane to keep the pressure down, and Trundle still hasn't recalled. He just came in to put down more pressure.
Ooh, Binding again. Hook out into Shu. Damage is good, but Alstar does not use the ulti. And there it is. Titanic Hydra might swap it over, or might just stick to Titanic for now. But does have options now. Has finished his first major item, has Trundle.
Yeah, the way it usually works is you swap over around a Phage if you're going for that style of build. But from the looks of it, he's going to go for a Spirit Visage type of build. Maybe a Hex Drinker if he's getting over-aggressive. We don't know. OMG top laners, they like it.
Yeah, he just swapped as well. Just to troll you. As OMG do get the dragon with the help of Kalista securing that one away. Seen that trick a couple times now. I think it was actually Dark. Well, I mean, taught that one to Xiang.
So, in all honesty, he had a Tiamat and then just bought Titanic and swapped immediately.
Yep.
Instead, everyone else generally goes for the Jaram's Fist because they need health, and then swapping once they finish Titanic.
Xiang had so much money that he didn't need to go for the Fist this
He's
time.
just doing it to troll me, though.
He is. He's Trundle. That's his point.
Oh.
Well, he's going to return back to a lane. No, never mind. It's actually mid lane. Right, just making sure he pushes them off the turret. 5 looks for the hook. Does not land onto Ezreal. And the wave clear is there from Cool, but he's kind of the only one like we've seen. Have to think Trundle's going to start pushing out, though. Does have his TP ready. And Xiang is top lane. And this is going to start getting real tricky real quickly. Gosu again. Nice combo. 5 is dead. March goes in there with the ulti, and that's a good pick from HYG.
That is a very, very dead Thresh. It's not easy to siege turrets like this when they've got a Twisted Fate there. And Rek'Sai just decided to take his tunnel away. He ulted to the one next to it.
Ooh, Cool hits the ulti. That cancels that recall.
That is very important for this next wave. If they don't get Cool here in time, he should actually ult for this wave, you would have to say, to get here to defend it.
Looks like he might have to. Fishball and SMLZ are around just to make sure they can clear some of this wave. The rest of HYG sort of left, so they're actually a bit healthier. Xiang's also met S17 as Fishball is now called out. Doesn't quite go over the ridge. Does tunnel to safety after the CC's burnt. And HYG are moving back in. Ooh, Light Binding almost hit onto SMLZ. But he's going to chunk these down on Xiang. He's just so annoying. Cool. Now going to come in. The pillar's landing as well. Stun does land, and that's a dead Mundo of all champions. Hook now lands in onto March. They will fly in there as the box has popped up as well. SMLZ is going to get the next kill as Graves does go down. Now Shu looking for a big knock-up. Does find 3. Kicks Fishball out with the headbutt, but he's getting low as Gosu is going to take him out, and they'll just dive. Cool. He's wrapped around the turret. Shu with no ulti is going to die as well. And there's a hook landing again from 5 onto Gosu, but Xiang not quite healthy enough for that one. In fact, Gosu might just chase him. Good dodge there from Xiang.
Xiang's putting in work at the moment, diving these turrets. Cool's in.
They're going OMG style. Oh, great cleanse off there from Ghost, but Xiang goes in. Cool's going to get the next kill, and XQ just can't go anywhere but out.
Teleports
Flashes
in.
out of the way, but here comes S17. He'll chase down one. Five's an easy target. Fate's call, not quite up just yet, and that's going to be Ezreal getting another.
They resort for the Thresh, and he's not
They're
done.
still
He's
going.
dead.
S17 base checks as Cool gets the card out. SMLZ another kill, and OMG, they're just going off this game.
Honestly, not sure what the plan was there for Mundo, continuing to chase. I think he just wanted to stop the recalls as the Ezreal ultimate's not even close.
Nope, SMLZ probably wasn't going to die either, but let's watch some of this again.
So 17 should not be 1v1ing a Trundle first. A great pillar locks him down. Thunderlords gets procced, I believe, and just destroys him immediately. The hook was godlike from 5 and sets them all up to get bursted. The Ezreal and Lux do a very good combo here, put down a lot of damage. But there is absolutely nothing in the world that can kill Xiang that simply. And Cool honestly spends this entire fight just flashing and ghosting on the backside of the turret, making things happen.
And OMG playing super aggressive. Cool. Seems like he's channeling his old former teammate Loveling with these tower dives, but it's working out for them. This aggression, haven't seen it in a while, but OMG are up 5,000 gold in this game 3 in under 20 minutes.
Absolutely looking in their hands at the moment. This is OMG's game to lose, I will say, from 19 minutes in this game. They've got a Trundle that can split push. I mean, they've got a Rek'Sai that can split push and a Twisted Fate if need be. They can pretty much put people in any lane they want in any order as the blue buff.
Oh, that's awkward. Gosu missed it. I think it went
Grapes.
to March. Yeah, I think so. That's not good news for Gosu, who's
Oh, no.
already struggling as the Rift Child is going to go down. It's going to be OMG's this time around. HYG did a good job getting an early one, but this will go over to Xiang to make him even more obnoxious. He thought Trundle was bad before, just you wait. And
Yeah.
Cool's even going to pop the Frost Queen's claim. He's happy to take a killer if he can find it. OMG working together now, looking for those picks. Really, very much playing that freight train style. And 2 items done for TF and Kalista, with Trundle having his first big defensive item on the way, means that it is not far off from huge, huge power spikes.
It's very difficult to siege or even pick a composition with an Ezreal and a Lux available, though. The problem here is they're just sitting together farming, and they're both going to fall behind in farm because of this. They've got a Twisted Fate split pushing, a Kalista in side waves at the moment. Like, honestly, there's just so many solutions for OMG and so many opportunities for them to snowball, whereas HYG need to stay together to not get picked off.
Yeah.
And this is where they'll run into issues.
Now, going to have to total up quite a bit here. Xiang heading to the bottom lane by the looks of things. SMLZ and 5 are actually in the top lane now, making sure QG does not get uncontested CS.
And it's an open inhibitor. You have to keep that in
Yeah.
mind. At any stage, if they make a pick, there is so much pressure available to them.
Well, Xiang's going to do some work here in the bottom lane. You can see blue pings there out in that tier 2 in the bottom. And S17 is getting some armor. Sunfire done. And working in towards another big item here. Got a chain vest and another giant spell. I don't think he's building 2. But SMLZ going to eat the True Shot Barrage and take the Lantern away to safety.
Not a lot of damage actually coming out of XQ at the moment. Keep in mind all of his stuff is Cool's just going to go in.
Yep,
Here we
going
go.
back in again. Xiang almost dead, but he's going to lifesteal up as best he can. Fishball's here as well. Cool. Looks for the red card. Does find it. Not quite there for the stun, unfortunately. And Xiang won't be there, but the rest of the team's there ready and waiting. Xiang will live. And again, everyone from HYG has to come to answer pretty much.
And Xiang's got the teleport. Twisted Fate's ultimate is on a very low cooldown. They can reset again in about 2 minutes and try it one more time. Everyone from HYG has to rotate very quickly to all of these incidents, and it's an Alistar and a Mundo that are the ones at the highest jeopardy of actually dying, which is crazy to consider.
Yep, Mundo's still farming up, and everyone else is just a little too squishy at this stage of the game. Dragon is up, HYG's favorite objective, it seems like. And they're going to go in for it. OMG do know this is happening. SMLZ did take the Rift Scuttler earlier. And I don't know if HYG want this.
They shouldn't.
OMG certainly do, though. Fishball's going to look for the initiation. Binding Eaton there. Going to pull him out in the Lantern. True Shot Barrage is good. Doesn't get the Dragon, though. Kalista will secure it.
Ooh.
Snipe not quite there onto Fishball. Gosu's going to miss that ulti.
No kills to be seen from HYG as they do need to be careful now, OMG. A very low Rek'Sai.
Shu
Shoot.
gets hooked. And looks
Dead.
like he's dead. Doesn't have his ulti up anymore. Will die out of 5. And that's just a bit sloppy as Xiang's just face taking everyone. He's going to almost 1v3 them as the binding does land. A flash forced out from Gosu as well. Cool. Getting low. Has to back off here. But OMG just finding pick after pick.
Cool does a lot of damage, and Xiang's keeping them in a very predictable position. Another hook.
Yeah, S17, they'll take it. Big tanky man, but not that tanky. Will fall down to SMLZ, and 5 is just doing so much work here as well.
I mean, there's no answer from HYG at the moment. XQ's trying his absolute hardest to put down damage, not finding anyone.
Gosu almost has his ulti, but he's not there in the lane. Cool's going to go back to safety, get his health back. Xiang's going to continue to be annoying. Bottom lane farm is there. Top lane's pretty big as well. So plenty of minions for OMG to collect. They'll reset, spend their gold, and then just continue to pressure here. This gold lead still spiraling pretty far out of control. About 6k up now for OMG.
And that's a Lichbane Zhonya's Hourglass completed for Cool. That's a split pushing build if ever I've seen one, with the utility of team fighting if need be. I mean, if he leaves top lane, it's probably because he's going to use his ultimate and kill someone. That's just basically how he's going to go from now on. That's gross, this build. Well, he's online.
Certainly is. We'll see if HYG can stop it. Xiang, like you mentioned, just ignoring S17. Not too worried. Oh, backs off a little bit. Starts hitting them.
It's the best part about this Trundle build at the moment is Ravenous Hydra, the second the next wave spawns, just auto-attack it. You're back to full health.
Certainly are. Fishbowl here with the blue buff is going to give it over to Cool, who has delayed his split pushing top duties for just a little while. Make sure he collects that blue buff first. And you have to think 1-3-1 is probably the name of the game. SMLZ is heading bottom lane. Looks like Xiang's backing up as well, so it might be reshifting the formation here for OMG. But the idea is certainly there. Cool, it's a true shot barrage, but Lantern's going to get him back into the mid lane for some farm. And HYG, all they can really do is sit back and try and farm up.
And it just feels like they've got no answers. They're just playing so patiently because they literally have no choice. And eventually OMG are just going to force the Baron. It just comes down to at what point do they don't have vision or control.
Well, still relatively early in this game. And then Dragon up for a little while. So Baron could be an objective. Cool's actually bottom side now. Decided he was a bit better served there. Xiang's actually grouped with his team currently, but I believe Cool did push out the top side as well. So remember that open inhib that we saw very early in this game does provide a constant threat as well. OMG just happy to play methodical here. Not get too carried away.
Well, the idea is you get the Twisted Fate against the Mundo, who has stacked pretty much exclusively armor. That's a weird pink ward.
Oh, Gosu looking for a Brian does find it, but Fate's Call is going to save him from the ulti. Probably wasn't going to kill him, but might as well make sure he keeps nice and healthy as Xiang. Just charging in now. Cool's going to walk over as well. Not sure he can make it quite far enough. He's actually under Mundo right now, I think. But he does pop it. He's going to go aggressive. Where did Cool end up? Oh, there
he's mid, yeah.
Oh, there he is. I thought so.
He hit the turret with his ultimate because Mundo was bottom. So he basically got vision of the Mundo, said we have a numbers advantage. Let's start taking objectives. And now he's here to siege instead.
Yeah, well, wave clear's pretty good from Gosu. He's got the death cap completed, so a little tricky here. So just try and push things down, but Cool, once he hits the structures, will do plenty of damage with the early Lich Bane.
It's so easy for OMG to just continue to split push. They can 1-3-1 at the moment, and Kalista actually has enough wave clear. HYG are playing so defensively on the map that they can basically just run them around. Put Trundle top lane, where he is now, keep him there, and work the open inhibitor.
Yep, it seems like Cool's back down the bottom side as well, so maybe a bit of a misfire as far as execution, but OMG seem to have everybody in the right lanes at this particular juncture. XQ is forcing TF out. Got a little low there, did Cool. Doesn't want to be too uncareful, but there we go. Going to start at the Baron here as well. Fishbowl actually pretty tanky, and right now HYG have no idea this is going on, although Shu is going to go in and check.
It's getting reasonably low as well, so you have to be careful here, OMG, because they're all grouped.
They take a safe play and pull back. Cool. Home guards very swiftly back into the mid lane. Plenty of movement speed in this particular build. And again, OMG just sort of playing around the map. Like you said, they can just keep that 1-3-1 formation up and capitalize on whatever opportunity HYG presents them with. If they do nothing, they'll get structures. If they make a mistake, they'll be able to get whatever they can from the other side. So it should be relatively straightforward from OMG. Again, a little lacking in the execution currently, but very patient game here. You do not want to throw too much away in your final game. You only get one shot to actually win this series.
Yeah, in Game 3 of a best-of-3 series, better to err on the side of caution. I mean, going for the inhibitor is a dangerous move when Cool on the other side of the map can't actually use his ultimate to cover the entire distance. So if a teamfight were to break out, you'd be looking at 5 seconds without your middle laner. 17 would probably be the one to address the issue in the bottom lane, and they would send multiple members to deal with the top lane instead. In saying that, you would then have 3 mid to push. I don't see a way that HYG can deal with it.
Well, Baron starting again as well. SMLZ is actually off farming, but I like what OMG are doing. They're just constantly keeping tabs on the vision around that Baron because they know HYG can't check it. Shank's going to get a tower as well, eventually able to push it back. So good movement there. Spirit Visage also done for that Trundle. So Mundo couldn't really deal with him before. Still can't deal with him right now.
Yeah, basically zero chance to deal with him at the moment as the teleport's in and they've committed.
Yep, we have committed indeed to Baron. The fight is starting though. Cool actually caught out. Binding, but a great zone. He's going to dodge that laser. I think he's still dead though. Does flash out to the side, and that might actually save his life. Shu now with a whole lot of spears in him. As S17's just dead once again. Cool going to pop the ulti, get some vision, and now look for the flank all around the other side. Lands a stun in there. Good cleanse there from Gosu, and they are going to flash forward and pick him up. But a double kill already, I believe, there for SMLZ. And the hook will miss there. Fishbowl looking to go low. Does die there as Easy picks up the return double. And that was a bit messy there from OMG, to be honest.
Definitely messy from OMG. Cool completely caught out of position, had to use his Zonias and Flash to try and get away. Now, granted, he lived for a very long time. You're also playing against the team composition with a Lux and an Ezreal. So if they get more than one spell rotation in on that Lux, it starts to look really, really bad for you. And we're going to see exactly that as Cool. Good Zonias, does dodge the Lux ultimate, and watch Marsh as well, because he goes up and has elsewhere. At the moment, he's just fighting Cool. Puts down a lot of damage, but comes back and absolutely destroys SMLZ as he gets over-aggressive to try and kill March. The thing with Cool is never mind.
Oh yeah, ulted back into 4 and died.
Yeah. He kind of wasted his ultimate to get back into the fight, which you would say is a big mistake from Cool, because he was already close enough, let's be honest.
Could have just joined his team with the ulti as well.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, again, Cool. Everything not quite firing all at once in this particular series, but Twisted Fate has looked quite clean. OMG, happy to take... Oh, never mind. Ezreal gets it.
XQ. I mean, it's something about HYG with dragons.
They love them. It's their favorite objective.
It's just too easy.
Well,
it's just...
Certainly for Ezreal it is. No, the wards are getting cleared out as well. OMG, kind of dropping the ball in the last of the turn. But HYG is going to start the Baron.
I mean... OMG, know you're doing it. If you get stuck inside that Baron pit and you die, this could be game over, but they have got it.
Well, there are two people without their globals to get in there, and that Baron is looking low. Hook is not going to get there for a steal. Very optimistic. And Hyper Gaming, just pick up Baron. Easy as that.
They all get out safely as well from the looks of it. Cool not going to... Oh, no, he's committed.
He's gone straight for it. Wants S17 at least, but Mundo...
Well, this is going to be interesting.
Well, they can see him. I don't know if they can catch him, but they're going to try. He's going to buy an awful lot of time.
That is a dead man's plate, Mundo.
He's so fast.
He's just going to go on a magical journey.
He's gone to the fountain.
Join me as I run the longest way possible to potentially die.
Ate the Prey Seeker, I think, so going to be a little harder now. Those are the Burning Agony ticking. He's going to get knocked up, so kill credit will go over, but it's going to take a while. Still not dead as they pop the Fate's Call as well. S17 will finally die. That's going to give HYG plenty of breathing room.
From the Baron to the top lane, all the way to the bottom lane inhibitor. He went on the biggest journey ever, Mundo, and it only would have been better if he lived.
Well, couldn't live that time, unfortunately, but Baron buff now up for Hyper Youth Gaming. Gold lead still very much in OMG's favor. 6,000 gold ahead still. Would have been even more if they could get that last Baron, but just out of position after messing up at that Baron fight. And HYG, again, good decision. Make the very proactive play. We can do Baron and just take it away.
And it's so simple. This HYG side are honestly keeping tabs of everything that OMG is doing. It's as simple as XQ using his ultimate there to see them and try and steal the red buff. They know literally everything that OMG is doing. They're not working around their vision well enough. In fact, look at the vision on the map at the moment. It's basically defensive from OMG. I mean, the only vision inside HYG's jungle is theirs now.
Yep.
And control of the map is now HYG's again.
Yeah, that's what happens when you take Baron buff after winning a team fight. So
with a 6k gold advantage, though, to have this much control of the map and dictate how the map is actually moving around, especially with a Trundle that doesn't have any regard for a Mundo at the moment, is just lacking.
Yeah, it's just a bit of that HYG sloppiness that we've seen. And she has an Iceborne Gauntlet now, so he's even more annoying in team fights or split push situations. But again, it feels like OMG haven't really hard committed to the split push strategy that they seemed so well set up for. Draft seemed like it was lined up for it. The early game seemed like it set them up well, but HYG, we said they just had to sit back and defend. They've done that for long enough now. And they found an opening to keep themselves in this game. They're still behind, make no mistake. But they're starting to get stronger and stronger. That Mundo we talked about that was horribly far behind to start this game with, and still is almost 100 CS down.
Yeah.
He's starting to pick up items. Doesn't really matter if you're down CS. You'll get gold eventually if the game goes long enough. And S17, he's getting real big.
He's been absolutely eclipsed in strength by Xiang on this Trundle, which is just phenomenally large. I mean, they're both at 3 items. So if there's one thing to consider, that's actually a very big deal for the Mundo. He's going to be super tanky against certain targets, but Cool is going to actually put a clinic on in terms of how much damage he'll be dealing to Mundo.
Ooh,
hello.
Good catch. Bokar does land. Fishbowl in there as well, but the rest of the team there to save him. March will not die. Cool looking for a pretty optimistic ultimate there. And that middle tower still staying alive. Binding does actually hit onto Fishbowl. Damages through, but he pops a locket for a little bit of extra health. Will be forced to flush out, but he does get away safely.
And only 1 locket used there as well. 5 not opting into being a good team player. Just decides not to use his own one, of course. 2 lockets on the team, as you'll note from that. Very defensive, also works towards them having any kind of split push, or 2-3 split.
Nice turret take there from OMG. Nice little lantern setup so SMLZ can guarantee the last autos. In general, they've just looked very crisp. When HYG know what they have to do, they do it very well. Just when they maybe not as sure, they don't do it quite as well. Oh, back into the game. Seems like things are just about where we left them.
Or it's playing catch-up duty.
Speed through what we missed. But again, just defensive setup here for HYG. OMG apparently, even with the top turret down, in front of the inhibitor, can't find a way to really crack into this base.
Yeah, I mean, really, really struggling, these guys. And it's going to be as simple as one mistake from HYG, and you'll find at least a single inhibitor will be taken. So it's going to come down to execution, but if there's one thing to go off with this execution, it's that Hyper Youth Gaming, they seem to be doing it better.
They do. OMG has certainly not had it there, even though their early games have gotten better and better, and I like that they've stepped up the aggression. Seems like they got themselves into a spot and then just couldn't quite figure out what to do, so Cool now in the top lane. Fishbowl and 5 getting vision on that side.
Not
so
bad.
they'll monopolize that. Yeah, I do like this. Xiang's in the bottom lane too. I think before they ran into the problem of thinking Cool had teleport.
Yeah.
Because they put him in the wrong lane, but this might be the correct way to lay it out. You can see GoTo just moving these creeps out of the way, but now the 1-3-1's really starting here for OMG. It might be a little late, but it seems like they finally have everyone in position.
It's so easy to work around vision now. If you don't know where Lux is, you don't push that lane. If you know where Lux is, where's the rest of the team? Can I push his Twisted Fate? It's very, very clockwork-esque for this OMG side right now, and Xiang's got it the best if I had to pick out of anyone. You can see they've swapped XQ to the top lane because they need an actual threat to deal with Cool on this Twisted Fate. There's nothing Lux can do without using the ultimate. And if she doesn't use the ultimate, then there's just ever-present pressure.
Yep. See, Scuttle Crab going to go down. OMG are going to get themselves a dragon, because might as well. Baron is off the map for now. And the buffer's worn off from Hyper Youth Gaming as well. Because Cool's got a Void stuff already done. Actually, Rabadon's now, I think. Can't remember which order he had them in, but he's got 4 or 5 items. He's done,
Yeah,
actually.
the point is he's full build.
Yeah, that's pretty gross.
It's literally full build.
36 minutes in.
That's amazing. I mean, look how far behind Gosu is. I have no idea where that Catalyst is going.
That's true.
But if that's going where I think it is, you need to reevaluate your life.
Well, I don't think it's going for that Rotovatus. Here we go. See how much damage Cool can do. S17 is going to be the target, but he's a little too tanky at this point. OMG, again, an optimistic player. Now they're going to maybe go back in for it. Pillar is good there from Xiang. And that should dissipate the fight.
Yeah, they're going to back off again. It's a long, steady, calm and collected game from OMG. It's basically what we're going to see from here on out. We'll be looking at them continuing the 1-3-1. They might even reevaluate and go for the 1-4 split and have 4 people bottom lane and then just have the Trundle in the top lane. Of course, you run a threat of Baron in about 30 seconds from now if it doesn't work out in your favor. But in saying that, you should be able to keep 4 members bottom in response, or at least the Lux and the Ezreal that need to wave clear together. And if you have Mundo against Trundle, it's a free objective. I just feel like they've got options and they're not making the right decisions.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that comes back to it being a very new OMG, still looking for players and building experience, and a lot of their players being new. I feel like whoever is that big shot calling force making those decisions isn't making them, although March is going to get grabbed up, played back against the trees, but he'll be okay. Crowd will go over to Hyper Youth Gaming. That will give them vision around that Baron, but Xiang being very, very stubborn in the bottom lane.
I mean, the question is just how many times are we going to reset before OMG make a mistake?
Yeah.
HYG, they're the most prone to being forced into errors, and that is perfectly acceptable because they are being forced into the errors. If OMG make a mistake or get caught out of position, it's entirely on them. The onus is on OMG's lack of either vision, control, or decision-making. So, if HYG find a way back into this game, then we've got some questions to ask.
Certainly do. And again, they sort of give it up. Xiong's just hanging out in the bottom lane. SMLZ can massacre waves. As Kalista has almost full build here as well. Cool looking again for another kill. That might be it, but the auto is enough. Cool! Able to snipe Ezreal.
And Cool with that pick should open the entire map. The
Whoa!
turret's taken bottom. Oh my god.
Off to the side, SMLZ actually does not get eaten by the binding. She was trying to make a big play. Now March going to get grabbed up. 5 once again charging
Watch
over
Cool.
the wall as Cool gets that card down onto March. He's actually dead there as Fishball charges in, and Gosu can only kite back and do whatever he can, but he's now going to flash. Young's going to flash forward on him. They'll tank the Nexus turrets. This will be the ace, and OMG in one fell swoop are going to take the game.
And it took them a lot of time to make this decision, but all it took was the decision to be made. Xiang eventually got the bottom lane turret by himself, and at the exact same time, Cool finds a pick. So, without trying to say the pun, Cool, calm, collected.
Yeah.
He did get exactly what his team needed of him, and that was a single kill.
Superstar player makes the superstar play, and OMG push themselves over the edge with a Game 3 win to barely clinch that series 2-1. Hyper Youth Gaming, for a first series in the LPL, looked surprisingly good. Again, against a team we maybe expected to not look too good. OMG looked a lot better than they did in their first series this year, and they do pick up the win.
Definitely a major improvement from that first best of 3 that we did see of OMG. It feels like they've found somewhat a semblance of an identity this time. They understand what Cool needs to do to win these games, and of all people, it is on Cool to find a way to win these games.
In that last game, he did show it off.
Yep.
It's funny that the OMG identity may be the one we've always known, the one they've carried since 2013.
Believe it or not.
But if it ain't broke, don't fix it, I suppose. OMG picking themselves up their first win to go 1-1 in the week. I don't believe they have another game to play tomorrow.
They've already played 2 series. They shouldn't play a third.
So they'll finish relatively happy, I suppose. And we'll see exactly where this team can go. HYG, though, as I said, a tough loss there for your first series in the LPL, but I was quite impressed with how they played.